of the WPIAL Class AA Championship football game. It features the Ironmen of Steel Valley and the Yellow Jackets of Freeport High. The weather just about right. A little bit on the cloudy side, and temperatures in the mid-50s. We have a bit of a wind blowing from right to left. Not too much of a factor, but it will be to some degree, I guess. When you weigh everything, Tom, the wind will play a little bit of a factor here this afternoon, but perhaps the biggest story has got to be what the artificial turf is going to, what part that's going to play, the condition of Jody White, and perhaps what you can tell us about Steel Valley's two highly touted running backs.
Great, Bob. Good afternoon, everybody. Glad to be here. A very exciting afternoon for both of these schools. Let's take a look at Steel Valley, first of all, a little bit on the coaching and tradition side of the Ironmen. Head coach Jack Guerin is now finishing his third year as head coach and has a career mark of 31-3-1. Guerin took over for the now Woodland Hills coach George Novak. In fact, Guerin's Steel Valley Ironmen are the defending WPIAL Class AA champs and have the longest unbeaten streak in the entire WPIAL, 25 games. They have not lost a game since 1987. AA team since the 1979-80 Seat LaSalle team to win back-to-back titles. On the Freeport side, this is head coach Gary Keppel's fourth year as head coach after being an assistant for many years in Dawn Early successful programs of Freeport. Coach Keppel has brought Freeport into the playoffs for the first time as a head coach, and what a trip it's been, reaching the AA finals here at Three Rivers. The Yellow Jackets, like the Ironmen, have been one of the best football programs of the 80s, as Freeport has been to the playoffs 12 times overall and 6 times in this decade. They were in the finals once in the 80s, losing to Jeanette 26-7 in 1981. On the playing side, and a little bit about the season for each team, Steel Valley, obviously, if you have not lost in 25 games on our defending champs, you have to have some outstanding athletes. Two of the very best play for the Ironmen, quarterback Marcel Weems and tailback Orlando Doolin. Weems, 6'2", 190. In last week's playoff win versus New Brighton, had a season's worth of stats in one game. He scored 5 touchdowns on runs of 1, 10, 13, 32, and 86 yards. One of those runs was a kickoff return. That was the 86-yarder. He rushed for 124 yards, added 1 interception, kicked 6 extra points, and quarterback defensive back kicker Marcel Weems accounted for 36 points and 236 yards of that 42-13 win over New Brighton, and he gave a new definition to doing it all. For the year, Weems has 733 yards rushing, 649 passing, 15 touchdowns, 30 extra points, and 4 interceptions. Some say Weems had such a good game because New Brighton's defense keyed on tailback Orlando Doolin. Why would you say that? Well, Doolin rushed for a school record 1,540 yards while averaging 7.4 yards a rush. Doolin, 5'11", 188, is a slashing runner that has Division I colleges very interested. Steel Valley can pass. Weems has thrown 6 touchdowns, and his favorite receiver is sure-handed Pat Conley. Steel Valley's offense is averaging 30 points a game. They've been held under 20 only once all year. Their defense has 5 shutouts. Freeport comes into today's title game with an overall 10-2 record, losing in conference play to Jeanette and an exhibition game to Riverside. There's no question that the Yellow Jackets love to travel on the ground. Their 2 playoff wins prove that. Freeport has rushed for 567 yards and 0 yards passing so far in their 2 playoff wins. And of course, the main man is senior tailback Jody White, who comes into today's game with just over 1,600 yards and 18 touchdowns. Combining with upback Brian Kern and wingback Jason DeWitt, Freeport has rushed for over 2,600 yards this year. So as you can see, the Yellow Jackets have rushed for almost, or should say, over 200 yards a game on the ground. If teams know you're going to run and you still do it on the ground, that means you have an outstanding offensive line, and that Freeport certainly does.
Tom, Freeport has won the toss. They have elected to receive, and we will return with the opening kickoff from Steel Valley. And as mentioned, Freeport will receive the opening kickoff. The offensive lineup for the Yellow Jackets: Brad Ballantyne will be at quarterback, Jody White at tailback, Brian Kern the fullback, and the wingback Jason DeWitt, who last weekend turned in such a magnificent job against Jeanette in getting Freeport to this championship game. The split end is Eric Beach. The tight end is Joe McGrath. The tackles, well, Paul McConville will be at one of them. Scott Lucas and Dave Bisley will be at guard. and Kurt Lenz is at center.
I believe Chad Ravati will play for Merle Atkinson, who has a broken arm, Bob, and unfortunately Merle will not be able to take part in this game at Three Rivers.
Okay, Marcel Weems will be kicking off defensively for Steel Valley. Orlando Walker and Bob Ando are the defensive ends. The tackles are Michael Uhas and Greg Kiesecker. The linebackers are Orlando Doolin, Nick Camberis, Robert Thompson, and Jermaine Cleveland. The cornerbacks are Jason Zakis and Jason Schweinberg, and at safeties you will find either Marcel Weems or Pat Connolly, and this one is about ready to get started. Here's the kick by Weems. It bounces inside the 30 and is taken at about the 11-yard line by number 80, and that is Eric Beach. Beach is going to be dropped at about the 33-yard line by Greg Kiesecker, and we are underway at Three Rivers Stadium. Freeport and Steel Valley battling for the WPIAL AA title. Football is marked at the 32-yard line.
And here we see, Bob, Freeport has rushed the ball for over 200 yards in each of their playoff games. Let's see what the offensive line does against a tough Steel Valley defense.
We have a timeout, and it is called by, of all people, Steel Valley.
It seems that number 81, Jermaine Cleveland, was not on the field, Bob, so Steel Valley started out with 10 men, and I'm sure Coach Gearin did not want to take that timeout that early. As we go back and look at the first two playoff games for both teams, Steel Valley defeated Beaver 21-14. In that game, Beaver led 14-0, and Steel Valley came back to defeat Beaver. Also last week, it was Steel Valley 42 to Brighton 13. We had mentioned earlier the big game that Weems had. Orlando Doolin rushed for 113 yards in that game. Safety Pat Conley had 3 interceptions. Freeport's 2 playoff wins. They defeated Washington 20-7 and defeated Jeanette 28-21 last week. Freeport has scored first in both of those games. Ironically, Steel Valley has been scored upon first in both of their games, but came back to win. Jody White, the ankle injury, Bob, it remains to be seen whether White means to Freeport's offense what Doolin means to Steel Valley's in the backfield. They're very comparable, very close on the stats. White had 119 yards against Washington, 188 against Jeanette. Let's see how Jody's ankle will hold up against the Steel Valley defense.
Okay, you were correct. Chad Ravoti will be at the other tackles. Here is Ballantyne, and the give goes to Kern. Kern for a couple of yards to about the 35. So Kern picks up 2 yards, and Nick Camberis makes the tackle. We should call it actually a gain of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7.
I think Camberis is shaken up on the tackle, Bob.
So a brief timeout. Camberis is on the field of play near where the tackle was made. So we have a stop in play. He's an important part of the Steel Valley team. Shares fullback time with Robert Thompson, and on defense is inside linebacker. So obviously a very important part. Kern got the first carry, Bob, and what Freeport likes to do is use White as a decoy, and Kern is certainly capable up the middle as he picked up 3 on the first carry. This time it's Jody White, and he is belted behind the line of scrimmage by Bob Ando, and he will lose 2 yards on the play back to about the 33.
Ando, 6'1", 220 senior, a two-way starter for Steel Valley and a very, very big part of their interior lines.
So that was a 2nd and 7. It is now 3rd and 9 for Freeport. Sean Mochak comes out wide right. The officials want to respot the football. This one's not going to get anything. And the Jackets are going to be forced to punt the football. Robert Thompson made the stop.
That was a delayed draw, and Freeport in a passing situation gave the draw to Jody. Jody White gets no gain, and Freeport, after 3 rushes, will be forced to punt.
So the Jackets will punt it away. And the kick is away by Lavery, fielded. Well, they called for the fair catch. It's going to roll down. Let it go, fellas, inside the 15 to about the 13-yard line. And Steel Valley will have the football for the first time this afternoon offensively for the Ironmen. Their quarterback is highly touted, Marcel Weems. The fullback, Nick Camberis. the tailback, Orlando Doolin, and he's another one you got to keep your eyes on. The split back, Jason Schweinberg. The ends are Jason Zakis and John Uhas. The tackles, John Bayes and Orlando Walker. At guards, Bob Ando and Greg Kiesecker. The center is Mike Uhas. This is Weems. And they're going to grab at the line of scrimmage and spill for no loss. Orlando Doolin, and Terry Van Dyke was the first man there defensively for Freeport. So there was no gain on the play for not Orlando, but Orlando Doolin, who wears number 32. Second down and 10, and they say that Marcel Weems can air out the football. Right now, receiver goes wide to the left. And he gives again to the tailback, and they've got him again. The tackle this time was made by Joe McGrath, and Chad Ravoti was also there.
Doolin.
And Doolin again carried, and he got nothing.
I think what's happening, Bob, it's almost like two fighters. Both teams rush the ball extremely well, but both teams have outstanding defenses. And right now, the defenses are showing why these two teams are in the title game.
So it is now 3rd and 10 for the Ironmen. This is Weems, who crouches low behind the center. And Doolin gets the call, but he only gets to the 16-yard line. A gain of about 2. Give him 3. It'll be now 4th and 7. Visley for Freeport. And Van Dyke combine on the play.
With that excellent punt by Lavery, Bob, in a defensive stand, Freeport is in position to get some good field position here.
It is Brian Kern, number 21.
And Eric Beach, I believe, Bob.
And back to punt is Cam Barris. And this one is going to roll and take a reverse bounce, and finally will be marked at the 43. But Freeport let it go, as Eric Brown, along with Brian Kern, were back to take the kick. So Freeport now in possession of the football. Each team has gone 3 and out on their first possessions. We have 7:48 on a turning first quarter clock with no score from Three Rivers Stadium.
We would like to add again, Bob, that Freeport does not have a yard gained through the air in either playoff victory. They've been strictly a running team. Let's see how it comes as they're strong left.
Valentine gives, coming around the left side, picking up the first down. Looked like Ryan Redmond. Nope.
Yes, it was.
It is. Redmond picks up the 1st and 10, and Robert Thompson makes the hit. It is marked at the Steel Valley 46-yard line.
That was an 11-yard pickup by Redmond, the first down of the game. That's Freeport's counter play. If Freeport is known for anything, it is their counter play. They love that play, and it pulled off a couple touchdowns against Jeanette last week. And Ryan Redmond with an 11-yard pickup for the Yellow Jackets.
Good shot of Ballantyne over center. Ballantyne to White, and White's 3rd carry of the afternoon. That's short yardage to the 45. Maybe a yard on the play. Kiesecker was there for Steel Valley at the 45, so White picks up 1 yard. It is now 2nd and 9. Bob Tattern with Tom Dinga from Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh for this afternoon's WPIAL Class AA Bracket Championship game. Freeport in white, 2nd possession of the afternoon. 2nd and 9 for Ballantyne, and it goes to White. White hit after a short gain to about the 44. And Nick Camberis was there along with number 55, Mike Uhas. So it's now 3rd and 8.
Camberis seems to still have a little lingering problem, maybe with an ankle, Bob, shaking that out. He's been tough from that middle linebacking spot. There's no question it's Steel Valley's defense keying on White so far. Let's see if Freeport comes back with the counter on 3rd and 8.
And we're better than halfway through the opening quarter. This is a sweep around the right side by Jason DeWitt, and DeWitt is up near the 40. Tackled by Nick Camberis. And they will mark it near the 39, so he gained,
I'd say 4.
about 4 yards on that play. Right, Tom? Freeport will punt it away. Lavery is back to do the kicking. So give Freeport 4 yards on that last carry. Lavery, high kick. Fair catch is called for by Weems at about the 13. So a break in the action with 5:13 to play in the opening period. There is no score, and we'll be right back. In the first period without a score, Weems hands off. Robert Thompson carries the football for a couple of yards, tackled by Dave Visley, and it's a gain of 3. The line of scrimmage was the 15. They picked up 3 to the 18-yard line.
Still Valley with the problem, of course, now at field position, don't really want to put it up in the air, so
Right.
trying to stick to the ground, staying away from the turnovers. Still Valley with Thompson and Cam Barris substituting a fullback. 2 big fullbacks to go along with Doolin in the backfield.
Weems on the count. Gives to the tailback, and they're going to meet him head on. Visley is assisted. He escapes momentarily, but I think Scott Lucas helped out on that tackle. And they'll pick up 2 yards to the 20. 3rd and a long 4, I should say, for Steel Valley.
Doolin showed you why he is that Division I prospect with that slashing run. He was stopped at the line of scrimmage by Visley, shook off that tackle, went to his left, and Scott Lucas was there to help out.
So it is now 3rd and 5. Neither team has passed the football. Weems goes again low over center, and this will be his first pass attempt. Or will he run it? He's got the first down at the 30, and is going to be brought down by Eric Beach across the 35.
Looks to be about, depending where they mark it, Bob.
Well, from the 20 to the 32, about a 12-yard gain, or make it 13, actually. Give him 13 on the carry. Marcel Weems, and the first down of the afternoon by either team.
Nice misdirection play that time as Weems had some blockers out in front of him. Nice fake to Doolin. Weems rolled left and showed his speed.
3 minutes and 22 seconds remain in this opening period. Doolin is at the 40, 45, and is clipped out of bounds short of the 50-yard line by Chris Hoffman.
It's going to be a 14-yard pickup that time for Doolin, up to about the 47 of Steel Valley.
So it's the second first down of the afternoon. Consecutive first down plays by the Ironmen of Steel Valley. And they have possession at the 47.
And you can see why early those 2 backs, Weems quarterbacking and Doolin from the tailback position. Doolin not only has some speed, but has really broken some tackles here early in the first quarter.
First down and 10 for the Ironmen. And somebody jumped offside for Freeport. It'll be a 1st and 5. The penalty marker thrown, and 5 yards stepped off against the Yellow Jackets. Again, there was no score. 3:13 as the clock stops on the penalty march-off. Down to the 8, and it's the first time that either offense has been across the 50. First down and 5. Here's Weems over center. 2 setbacks. Flanker to the right side. Weems looks to throw. He's got a man wide open on the one side, and fires incomplete to the short man. Pass was intended for John Uhas. It goes incomplete.
It's a good call, Bob, because with the 5-yard penalty, it's up a 1st and 5. So Coach Guerin obviously felt a good time to try the first pass from midfield. Did have some receivers streaking down the right side. Freeport had good coverage in the secondary that time by Brian Kern and Jason DeWitt. And Weems rolled left and threw wide, so it's 2nd and 5.
Clock stops at 3:07 of the first quarter, which is scoreless. Fullback gets the call, and Freeport's defense answers the call. That could have been, by the way,
Robert Thompson, I believe, got the handoff.
Right.
Ball. Met by about 7 Yellow Jackets.
We'll give him a yard on the play, make it 3rd down and 4. 1 yard on that play for number 48, Robert Thompson. Thompson comes out, and Nick Camberis is into the lineup with a play from the bench. 2:30 left in the opening quarter.
Still Valley looking for their 3rd first down on this drive.
And Weems, unless he runs with a football, intercepted by Freeport. Intercepted by number 21, Brian Kern. And the Jackets convert the turnover at their 39. So the first pass that is caught by anyone is an interception.
Bob, Weems did have a receiver, and Kern did a nice job stepping in front of the intended receiver. Would have been enough for the first down, but Brian Kern with a big interception, and the Yellow Jackets with the first turnover of the game with 2:10 left to go in the first quarter.
Clock is running. Out of the eye, Ballantyne, Kern, and White. White wide to the right side, looks for the block, and is going to be dropped after a yard gain on the play. Making the tackle was Robert Thompson, number 48. So Jody White picks up 1 yard on the play, and it is marked at the 40.
Unofficially, Bob, Jody White on 5 carries with 1 yard from scrimmage. It may be Still Valley doing an outstanding job on defense. It just doesn't seem that Jody has that that quick step that he usually has to the outside. We'll see if that improves or doesn't as the game goes on.
2nd down and 9. Kern gets the call. Kern struggles for 2 yards to the 42. Kern was spilled on the play by Nick Camberis.
He's been in on 5 tackles so far in the first quarter, Bob, and you can see why he's a very important part of that linebacking crew.
So a gain of 2, 3rd and 7 for the Jackets at their own 42. And we are down to the last minute of this opening quarter.
Freeport has rushed the ball 9 times, has not attempted a pass yet. Let's see what happens here on 3rd and 7.
On the counter play,
it's Redmond again, Bob.
Redmond carries, and he was awfully close to the first down. I think he's going to get it.
Where they gave him momentum from our angle, his forward progress where the referee's standing right now would give him a first down.
They're going to stop the clock and bring the chains across to make absolutely sure, but it appears from here that Freeport does have the first down, and they have yet to get into Steel Valley territory, but right now they're about a yard away.
That was a 7-yard pickup for Redmond, and one interesting thing so far, Bob, Redmond in 2 carries has 18 yards. That's more than he had the entire 2 playoff games. So that's that counter play again that Freeport likes to go to, and it was the way we called it, just enough. The length of the football for first down. So with 35 seconds left to go in a quarter, Freeport picks up their 2nd first down of the game. And Ryan Redmond has 18 yards on 2 carries, as we mentioned. Freeport now just this side of midfield.
We're in the last 30 seconds of the quarter. There is no score. Ballantyne gives to Kern. Kern struggles and gets inside the 45 down to about the 44. And that very well could have been the final play of the first quarter.
It was a 6-yard pickup, Bob. It's going to make it a 2nd and 4. As you mentioned, we're winding down here at the end of the first quarter.
They won't get the play off, and the first quarter has come to an end. There is no score at Three River Stadium. The Freeport Yellow Jackets and the Ironmen of Steel Valley. I'm Bob Tattern, and along with Tom Dinga, we will return to Three River Stadium after this timeout. Some of the cheerleaders from Steel Valley getting into the act here this afternoon. Tom Dinga has second quarter play-by-play.
Bob, is getting dark enough for some lights to come on here at Three Rivers.
I was going to say, what gives?
The Yellow Jackets 2 first downs in the first quarter. Still Valley with 2. Freeport rushed the ball 11 times, no passes. Still Valley rushed the ball 8 times and attempted 3 passes. 2 were incomplete and 1 was intercepted. So a pretty even first quarter. Freeport's had the better of it on the field position side, but other than that, it's been pretty even. But the Yellow Jackets now on the move. Second down, a long 3 after that 6-yard pickup by Kern. Deep handoff to White. White cuts in, not much. He's going to get down to inside the 42. It's going to look to be about a 3rd and a long 1.
And we give him how many on the carry?
Say about 2 yards, Bob. Close to 2. Sean Mochak into the game for Freeport. They run a shuffle system, shuffling in 2 players at a time. Usually Redmond and Mochak and Beach and DeWitt in and out. Ballantyne now 3rd and a long 1. Power I left for Freeport. Deep hand off to Jody White. He has the first down over to 40, up to the 36-yard line. That'll be a 6-yard pickup for Jody White. Tackle once again by Nick Cambaris and number 48, Robert Thompson. So Freeport has picked up their 3rd first down. And White comes up with a 6-yard carry. Unofficially, Jody White now 9 yards on 7 carries. So the Steel Valley defense doing an outstanding job on White. Freeport continues to run the ball. They have not attempted a pass yet. Ballantyne under center. Counter play to Redmond. He's on the outside. 35, cuts in at the 30, stumbles down near the 25-yard line. Close to another first down. Chad Ravati is shaken up behind the play for Freeport. Real dazed right now. Into the game will be, I believe, Van Dyke for Ravati. It is a first down. Freeport's 4th of the drive. And there goes Chad Ravati off the field, number 53 for Freeport. Was shaken up through a nice block on that counter play. And Ryan Redmond, Bob's been the story here in the first half on that counter play. 28 yards on 3 carries unofficially. And the Yellow Jackets are down to the Steel Valley 26. Ballantyne is out. It's Kern and White in the backfield. DeWitt in a slot to the right. Fumble. Ball's on the ground. It looks to be no official signal yet. Steel Valley thinks they have it.
Yeah, Freeport's come up with it.
Looks like Van Dyke and Ballantyne were both down. It looks like Ballantyne got his own fumble. And Steel Valley almost came up with a big break there. Turns out to be a 1-yard pickup for Ballantyne.
All right.
Give Ballantyne,
that's a hard one.
Give Ballantyne 1 yard. It's 2nd and 9 as Eric Beach comes split to the right side. Redmond now in the wingback position on the right. Kern and White in the backfield. 2nd and 9. Fake to Redmond. Ballantyne rolls right. His first pass of the day is out and completed to Brian Kern at the 18-yard line. So Ballantyne completes his first pass of the playoffs down to the 18. It will not be enough for a first down, but it will bring up a 3rd and 2.
Now, I'm not going to think field goal, but for those watching this particular contest, these are not high school goalposts, which are 21 feet in width. These are used by the pros. They are 18 feet in width.
First pass attempted and completed. Ballantyne now 3rd and 2 under center. Deep handoff to White. He has the first down. He's at the 15. Shakes off some tacklers down to the 12. First down, Freeport. Tackled that time by Pat Conley from the safety position. Jody White picks up Freeport's 5th first down.
So it's spotted at the 13-yard line.
Say a 5-yard pickup. Unofficially, White now with 14 yards.
Steel Valley
7 carries.
Very quickly brings in Kurt Bloomberg and John Deus.
So the ball spotted just outside the 12. Freeport still has room for first down. Power I left. Ballantyne, deep handoff to White. Stutter steps and he's down at the 10. Nice tackle, I believe, by Ando that time. Bob Ando, number 77. Nice play as he reached out and tripped up Jody White. And it's only going to be a 1-yard pickup as they mark it at the 11. 2nd down, 9 yards to go. We have 8:40 on a turning 2nd quarter clock. AA championship, Freeport trying to win their first ever football championship in the WPIAL. They've been to the playoffs 12 times, 6 times in the finals. Looking for the big one for the first time. Ballantyne fakes to White, looks in the end zone, wide open. Is Sean Mochak for the touchdown? No, Joe McGrath for the touchdown. Number 85, I thought it was 86, but it's 85, Joe McGrath. Beautiful play fake to Jody White. McGrath was behind everybody, and a nice soft pass by Ballantyne. And in this case, Freeport has crossed up Steel Valley. Freeport has rushed and rushed and rushed the first 2 games. They've come out with 2 completions on this drive. So an 11-yard touchdown pass to Joe McGrath, and quarterback Brad Ballantyne will line up for the extra point. The snap is down, the kick is up, and good. Brad Ballantyne, who's kicked 4 out of 6 up to this point in the playoffs, makes it 5 out of 7. And in the first quarter, or second quarter play with 8:19 left, Freeport 7, Still Valley nothing.
And we'll return to Three Rivers Stadium with a Freeport kickoff right after this.
As the Yellow Jackets go on top, 7-0. They've done that every game, and Still Valley has trailed every game. Ball's picked up by Doolin at the 25, dances outside to the 30, retraces a step and is down at the 25. Eric Beach on the tackle for the Yellow Jackets. Had some help from Paul McConville, and Still Valley will take over to 25. The Ironmen have not had a real good field position. They've started their drive so far from the 13, the 15, and the 25.
We didn't bring you Freeport's starting defense, but the defensive ends are McGrath and Stuyvesant. The linebackers are Lavery and Visley. The tackles, well, Still Valley's about ready to get this one going. We'll continue after the next play.
Weems under center, deep handoff to Doolin. Doolin stopped in the backfield by number 77, Visley. Dave Visley is going to throw Orlando Doolin for a 2-yard loss. He'll mark it back at about the 22.5. First time Doolin's been thrown for a loss today.
I was looking down to see if Ravoti was in at
linebacker.
defense.
Yes, he is. He plays his linebacker position with Terry Van Dyke.
So Kern, White, DeWitt, Beach, and Lucas, and along with McConville, round out the Freeport defense.
It's going to be second and almost 13 as Marcel Weems brings them out. Weems, the handoff to Doolin again, up the middle, and he fights his way over the 25 to the 26-yard line for a 3-yard pickup. Met by Randy Stuyvesant. Stuyvesant on the tackle from his right defensive end, and also Dave Visley. Stuyvesant a little shaken up on that tackle. Doolin gets his yardage back.
What did he get on that play?
They marked it back a little bit farther than I thought, Bob. It's at the 26, so 2-yard pickup. So it gets his 2 back, and it's going to be 3rd and 10.
6:40 to play in the first half. Freeport leading 7-0.
Marcel Weems brings the defending champs back up to center. He's back, scrambling to his right. He has some room. Now gets to the outside, chased by Ravati, tackled by Beach at the 27-yard line. It's going to bring up a 4th and 8. Weems, protection broke down, scrambled to the right side, was chased by Ravati and Beach, and Brian Kern. Beach got to him, knocked him out of bounds, so it's going to be 3rd and 8. Give Marcel Weems 2 yards on the scramble. Still Valley does not pick up a first down on this possession. And in punt formation is Cam Barris. He does a little bit of everything for Still Valley. He's at his own 15. The punt is up. Short. Fielded by Beach in midfield tackle. There's a fumble. Kern goes for it. Still loose. The ball's still loose, and Still Valley recovers at the Freeport 45. Eric Beach came up to field that punt at the 50. It was a tough punt to field, but he did make the catch, but on the tackle was popped loose, recovered by Still Valley, and I believe was number 21, Gino Clifton, with the recovery, and a big break for Still Valley at the Freeport 45. So new life for the defending champs. Freeport had just shut them down. They get the ball right back. Marcel Weems brings them back. Cam Barris and Doolin in the backfield. Conley split right. Weems fakes to Cam Barris. Option right. Hemmed in. Now the pitch to Doolin. The pitch is fumbled, and it's out of bounds. And Weems shows you a little bit as chased down by Brian Kern. I was just thinking, Bob, of some of the things we read this week, and head coach Gary Keppel had mentioned that Weems reminds him so much of Major Harris on that option play. You can see why. Big and strong, quick, hemmed in, and looked like 3 guys ready to bring him down, and still had strength enough to pitch it. Went out of bounds, so it was actually a 2-yard gain on the pitch out.
And it was a heads-up play by the part of the youngster who tipped it out of bounds because he didn't want to play hot potato with it. It's at the Freeport 43.
2nd and 8. Thompson shifted somewhat to the left now. Unbalanced eye, hand up to Doolin. He's over to 40, nice tackle. Coming up from his cornerback position was Brian Kern. Doolin was over to 40, just inside of 40 to the 39. I'd say about 3 yards on that carry to set up a 3rd and 4.
Well, actually 3rd and 5.
3rd and 5. Scoreboard's wrong then, Bob.
Freeport leading with 5 minutes left to play in the first half. 7-0 is the score.
Both defenses have made it tough on Orlando Doolin and Jody White. Two big runners have found tough going here in the first half. Big play for Still Valley. 3rd and 4. Weems to the up back. Camberos bounces off a tackle. Carries tacklers down to the 35. Nick Camberos with Dennis Lavery on the tackle from his left defensive end, helped out by linebacker Terry Van Dyke. 35. Is it enough for the first time? Maybe I called it too early, Bob.
It's a little bit short. They got a couple of yards on the play.
Excuse me, viewers. It looked like he fell down over to 35, but they marked the ball just out. It's going to be 4th and less than the length of a football. 4th and less than 1 with 4:10 left to go in the first half. Obviously the biggest play of the first half so far. Weems up. Brings him under center. Marcel hands off to Doolin. He has the first down. He's inside the 35 to the 32. A 3-yard pickup tackled by Brian Kern. Orlando Doolin with the head of steam from that eye spot. And he is awful tough when he gets ahead of steam. Camberos down on the sideline, number 10 for Still Valley, still having some problems working on the shoulder area. And that seemed to come from the very first tackle of the game, Bob, that he had from his linebacking position. So Robert Thompson back into the game as the up back in the eye. Jason Schweinberg split right, Conley split left. Pat Conley's their leading receiver. Weems under center. Fakes to Doolin. He's looking for Conley. No, he has some room. Rolls left. Brought down from behind on a nice tackle by Randy Stuyvesant. Boy, it looked like Weems had some room, and Stuyvesant came pinching in from his right defensive end, made a big tackle.
Shot of Stuyvesant on the screen right now. Stuyvesant for the Jackets. 5'11" junior, 165 pounds, so he'll be back next year.
1-yard carry by Weems. Makes it 2nd and 9. 3 minutes exactly left to go in the first half. Freeport 7. Still Valley nothing. Marcel Weems so far 0 for 2 through the air. Let's see what the Ironmen do here. Weems going to roll out. He's looking to pass. He has Conley going deep in the end zone. Now covered. Weems rolls right, and he's tackled by Rabati out of bounds. Right at the line of scrimmage, Chad Rabati laid the helmet on the numbers that time, and an excellent tackle. Conley was going deep, covered well by Eric Beach in the right corner of the end zone. That's who Weems wanted. When Conley was covered, decided to keep the ball. No gain and possibly about a half-yard loss back to the original line of scrimmage. So it's more like 3rd and 10 now. 2:43, the clock has stopped. Timeout.
Jackets defense has been the story of the game right now, as far as keeping this one 7-0.
Timeouts remaining. 3 for Freeport, 2 for Still Valley. 3rd and 10. 2:43 left. Conley now split left. Schweinberg slot left. Thompson and Doolin in the backfield. Weems straight back. He looks. He's covered and dropped in the backfield, and the sack goes to Lavery, I believe.
It is.
Dennis Lavery in on the tackle. The Freeport defense has forced a 4th down. That was a loss of about 7 yards for Marcel Weems. 7-yard loss on the sack. So Still Valley will try to hem in Freeport. Let's see if Beach or Brian Kern attempt to field this punt. 2:11 left to go. The clock is turning. Both defenses have been tough. Freeport was able to put together a 61-yard drive. Camberos back to punt. We're Still Valley. It's a fake to the up man, and he's open. It's the 35 to 30, the 25, down to the 20-yard line. A beautiful call, and it goes to Mike Johnson. A nice call by Jack Gearin. The snap was a short snap to the up man, Mike Johnson. Johnson ran to the left, had a lot of open space, and ran the ball down to the 20-yard line. 1:52 left, and Still Valley right now, Bob, this is a 3rd consecutive time they had the ball after the fumble punt by Freeport. Now another possession. Let's see if the Freeport defense can come up again. Weems with the ball. From center, rolls out, option right. Trapped in the backfield, gets out of it, still loose. Still loose and dropped back by Eric Beach, I believe. Boy, Marcel Weems showed you his strength there. He was hemmed in, looked like he was going to be dropped several times. Finally, Beach in to throw Weems for a 5-yard loss.
Second down and 15 coming up. We have 1:15 to play, and they want to call a timeout.
Clock still running, 1:10. Remember, Still Valley with 2 timeouts. Second and 15.
I thought they were going to call a timeout on that play.
Weems with Thompson and Doolin in the backfield. Conley split left. Weems looking. He's looking for Conley to pass. Too high for Pat Conley. And out of bounds. It's going to be 3rd and 15.
Freeport's defense rising to the occasion. Back there was number 41, of course, DeWitt, and number 21, Brian Kern, along with Stuyvesant, I believe. Or am I wrong? Jody White?
White also in the defensive backfield.
Jody White was back there as well.
Unofficially, Marcel 0 for 3, and he hasn't had a lot of time to pass. Good pressure by Freeport defensive line. 3rd and 15. 56 seconds left to go in the first half. Weems drops back. Blitz by Ravati. Screen pass. Out in the flat to Cam Barris. He cuts inside at the 20. He's down to the 18-yard line. It's going to bring up a 4th and 8. And let's see if Still Valley uses one of those timeouts now. They're calling for it from the bench, and they get it with 40 seconds left to go in the first half. It will be 4th and 8. That pass play was a 7-yard screen pass to Cam Barris. 7
yards picked up on the play, and a timeout has been called with 40 seconds left in the first half. And we will keep it right here.
Bob, we've mentioned that Freeport's defense, if they come out of this first half unscored on, will have to get a tremendous pat on the back, because they've been on the field now for about 6 minutes. They stopped, if you remember, stopped Still Valley down at the 25. Still Valley punted. Freeport fumbled the punt at midfield. Still Valley took over at Freeport's 45. Drove down and then had to punt again, but the fake punt. Mike Johnson on a nice call by the Still Valley coaching staff and Jack Guerin. Mike Johnson runs it down, so Freeport's defense back on the field. And right now, Freeport's defense with facing a 4th and 7. With a quarterback like Weems, it's awful tough because he has that option play, tremendous strength and speed, and he also can throw the ball. So we come to the biggest play of the ball game so far. 40 seconds left to go in the half. 4th and 7 at the Freeport 17. They need the 10-yard line for the first down. Marcel Weems, Cam Pearson, Doolin in the backfield. Fake to Doolin. Weems looking, under pressure by Stuyvesant. Stuyvesant gets him the pass in the end zone. Intercepted by Jason DeWitt in the end zone. It will be brought back out to the 20-yard line. Give Randy Stuyvesant a lot of credit for that pressure on quarterback Marcel Weems. And Freeport, with 31 seconds left to go in the half, will take over at their own 20.
Great play by the Jackets as they hold on to the lead here, 7-0, as the first half shows. 31 seconds to play. They'll have the ball on the 20 and probably play it safe and run out a play or two and kill balance of that 31 seconds here in the first half.
Big play again. Pressure from that defensive line, Bob. It's hurrying Marcel Weems. He just kind of threw that one out. See Freeport putting Jody White back as a safety that time. Ballantyne puts one knee down. I'm sure that Still Valley will let the clock run with 1 timeout left. And you see the Freeport fans across the way standing, exhorting their troops on Still Valley right underneath us. And the clock now turning with 10 seconds, and it will run out. And at the end of the first half, it's the Freeport Yellow Jackets 7, the Still Valley Ironmen nothing.
I'm Bob Tattert, and along with Tom Dinga, we are at Three Rivers Stadium, and high school football will continue in just a moment. The touchdown scored in the second quarter. Freeport in possession of the football as they threw from the 11-yard line into the end zone.
To give you an idea, last week against New Brighton, Still Valley had 276 total yards, and here in the first half they have 60. But remember, Still Valley has trailed the first 2 playoff games, come back to win.
Short kick. It is taken by Jason Zakis. Zakis is hit near the 45 and across the 45 and dropped by Paul McConville at the 48. And Still Valley will have the football first down and 10 at their own 48. So the kick by Ballantyne was short.
It's a great way for Still Valley to start the second half. Fantastic field position. That was not the case in the first half when they had poor field position.
All right, here we go. The quarterback is Weems. And he gives to the fullback, and Lucas is there. And a couple of yards on the play by Canberras from the 48 to the Freeport 49, a gain of 3. Lucas is credited with a tackle. And it's 2nd and 7 coming up.
Still Valley once again trailed the first 2 games, 14-0 at Beaver and 7-0 at New Brighton. Came back to win those games.
Connolly wide right. Weems carries, looks for the hole, and is going to be tripped out of bounds short of the 40-yard line. The tackle made over there by Lucas, number 75, and an assist on the play. A 4-yard gain, an assist on the play by Brian Kern. He is short of the first down by about a yard, so he picked up actually about 7 yards on that carry.
Well, it was about 2nd and 7, ends up to be 3rd and 1.
All right.
3rd and long 1, so they're going to give him about 5, I think, on the scoreboard.
3rd and a yard at the Freeport 42.5. To the tailback Doolin. Doolin has the first down at the 30, at the 25, sidestepping and is going to go in. He's out of bounds. The official claimed he went out of bounds at the 17. He could not walk the tightrope down the near sideline, and the official has marked him down at the 17.
That was a 24-yard pickup for Orlando Doolin, and he ran a sweep, had the seam, and Jody White just got a hand on him just enough to get Doolin to step out of bounds. So Steel Valley, with that great field position, has started off the second half of the bang. Clock
stops at 10:51 of the 3rd quarter. Freeport leading 7-0, and Steel Valley's Ironmen are threatening at the Jacket 17. Marcel Weems, the quarterback, number 1. Doolin carries the football, looks for the hole, and is brought down over the 15-yard line. Visley was one of them. An assist on the tackle by Joe McGrath, and it's a gain of 4 on the play. 2nd and 6. The ball is marked at the 13-yard line.
So Orlando Doolin and Marcel Weems, the two players that were picked in the Post-Gazette Fabulous 22 yesterday, both came up big here early in the second half, coming up big, as there are the 2 athletes leading Steel Valley down the field.
Williams gives to Doolin again, straight up the middle, and Doolin struggles, has the first down. He's inside the 5 and is dropped at about the 4-yard line. Visley made the final hit on the play at the 3, and Steel Valley is threatening right now for sure.
That was a 15-yard pickup. And Orlando Doolin here in the second half has ripped off 3 big ones and running very well so far for the Steel Valley Ironmen. Down at the 3, Freeport timeout, Steel Valley.
Yeah, Steel Valley is going to call the timeout. And as they do, we have 9:52 to play in the 3rd quarter, and we'll return with more high school football action from Three River Stadium right after this.
Just wonder, Bob, at the end of the first half, when Freeport's defense had 3 straight stands without getting off the field, if that's taken anything out of him here early in the second half.
Weems over center, 1st and goal at the 3. And this will be a touchdown for Thompson. He's into the end zone, pursued over there by Jason DeWitt, but he will get in for the 6. And the score comes with 9:48 to play in the 3rd quarter as Steel Valley picks up the tying touchdown. Now for the decision to go for 1 or for 2. A 7-6 Freeport lead. And one of the most interesting aspects of high school football has always been the point after, because of the 2-point possibility.
Marcel Weems kicked 6 extra points last week against New Brighton.
Jason Zakis on the hold. The snap, the kick is up, and it is good. And we have a tie ball game from Three River Stadium. Freeport and Steel Valley are all tied at 7. 9:48 to play in the 3rd quarter. Part of the jubilant crowd here from Steel Valley, whooping it up after the extra point got through the uprights, and it's a brand new ball game, starting again from square one. Freeport will have back Ryan Redman, I believe, number 20. No, it's number 80. That's Eric Beach. on the return team for the Jackets.
That drive took 2 minutes and 12 seconds. It was a 52-yard drive, capped off by Robert Thompson's 3-yard touchdown run, and we're all even here in the AA WPIAL final.
Short kick. It's a free football taken by Kern, and Kern goes from the 32 to about the 38. Well, they'll mark it a little bit short of that. Maybe well, they got it marked at the 38. 6-yard return on the kickoff. You know, that's an interesting play in high school as well. A high short kick. You can get that thing up high. Yeah, it's a free football.
Especially bouncing off of AstroTurf, you don't know where it's going to go.
Ballantyne approaches. Man over center. Ballantyne on the give.
The Yellow Jackets.
And here's DeWitt. DeWitt at the 40, at the 45, at the 50, at the 45 of Steel Valley, and thrown out of bounds. And the football is going to be marked at the Steel Valley 43-yard line. A gain on the play.
It's about 24 yards.
I was going to say near 25. We'll give them 24.
Depends where they mark it. Nope, moved it up. It's more like 20. The first official was standing at the 38. It's back at the 42.
All right.
That is that counterplay, Bob, that we've talked about all afternoon. They get the defense over pursuing one side, and they come right back with the ball, and that's been Freeport's bread and butter.
So the out-of-bounds play stopped the clock at 8:46. The pitch comes back to White. White looking for blockers. I thought I saw a penalty flag. I'm not sure, as White is dropped for no gain on the play. And among those there, Bob Ando, number 77, and he had an assist from Nick Camberis, who has been tremendous on defense in this one for Steel Valley, and there is a flag on the play. It will go against Freeport.
Bob, that's there's only been one penalty, one in the first half, and it was against Freeport 5 yards, and now the second one of the game, Steel Valley, is yet to be penalized.
So Freeport gains a yard, give Jody White 1 yard on the carry, and a penalty back of 10 yards from the spot of the foul. It will be second and about 19. Freeport back at their own 49-yard line. Clock running. 8.5 minutes to play. Third period. Game tied at 7. And Freeport finds themselves in a long situation. White looking to pass. He's got nobody down there. And it was almost intercepted by McConville, and it goes incomplete.
I think he knew that, Bob, and I think he just out-threw everybody. Saw there was no coverage, and no one open, and he had nowhere to go, so I think he just overthrew it on purpose.
Almost intercepted, I should have said, by Pat Connolly. I believe it was number, is that 93 or am I wrong?
93. It looks like 83.
It is. Pat Connolly. So on the incompleted pass, it is now second and 19. White and Kern are in the eye with a man in motion. This time Ballantyne on the draw. This is White. White is up near the 46-yard line of Steel Valley. Gained about maybe 5 on the play. And again, that Nick Camperis is there, number 10. That monster position he must play just gives him, you know, he can rove.
He covers the field.
Yeah.
Outstanding job for Steel Valley from the linebacking position.
3rd and 13 for Freeport.
7:49 left to go in the third.
Beach is out wide to the right. The left end is in tight. That's McGrath. And this time it goes to DeWitt. DeWitt is going to be met by Camperis, among others, at the 45. Connolly was also there. And they're going to give him 1 yard on the play. 4th and 12 coming up. And the Jackets will be forced to punt the football away. 7:23 showing on a turning third quarter clock. Game tied at 7. Lavery back to punt at his own 42. The snap and the kick. High, angle to the right side. Fielded. Oh, it's going to roll down. Fielded at about the 5. And they've got him down at the 1. They have got him down at the 1 yard line by
Mike Johnson,
well, Mike Johnson caught the football, and let's see who it was.
Chad Ravati was the first man there, and Ryan Redmond also down on the coverage.
What a great play. They've got it spotted at the 1. The Jacket defense makes the big play.
Johnson was kind of in between there, Bob. He knew it was going to die inside the 5, didn't know whether to pick it up or not.
Clock turning, under 7 minutes of this third quarter. And Steel Valley now with the football 99 yards away from pay dirt. Weems over center. Long count. Keeps the football and gets about a yard to the 2. Bisley up off the bottom of the pile. A gain of a yard, 2nd down and 9.
Obviously, right now, field position becomes very important. If the Yellow Jackets could pin in the Ironmen, then Steel Valley will have to punt from their end zone, and Freeport should get good field position. So a big series right now both ways. If Steel Valley can work their way out and can continue the momentum that started here in the second half offensively.
Weems over center. A long count. He wants 5 quick ones. And it goes to the fullback. That's
Robert Thompson.
Yep, Robert Thompson, number 48. And he gains about 2 on the play to the 5. Well, actually, you got to give him 3 to the 5-yard line. Dennis Lavery, along with Brian Kern, make the defensive play for the Jackets. The ball is marked at the 5. It is now 3rd and 6. Big play for Freeport's defense because field position would be tremendous for them if they could hold here. Steel Valley obviously is looking for big play themselves, as Orlando Doolin is going to be spilled at the 6-yard line. Eric Beach is there for the tackle, and Steel Valley will have to go back and punt. And across the way, the Freeport fans come to life. So no gain on the play. It is now 4th and 6, and back is Beach along with Kern on the punt return, and they're standing at the Steel Valley 35.
Well, the way Doolin came out of that backfield, he had some room, and Beach came up big with the tackle out in a flat.
Cam Paris back to punt. High snap. Lavery charges. The kick is away. Fielded at the 28. Beach is on the roll. Tripped up on the tackle just over the 25-yard line by John Uhas. And the return is down to the 23-yard line. We have a change of possession, a break in the action, back with more high school football in with the football at the Steel Valley 23. Game tied at 7, 4:20 to play in this third quarter.
Talk about field position, Bob.
White carries, and he is hit as soon as he got the handoff from Ballantyne, so he lost. Uhas on the tackle. Mike Uhas that time. Double nickel 55. Makes the play at the 24. A loss of 2. 2nd down and 12 coming up. Third quarter, game tied at 7. Freeport, by virtue of a great defensive maneuver, got good field position after the exchange of punts. For this exchange of a punt from Steel Valley. Ballantyne looks to throw. McGrath, no, he throws over the head of number 41, Jason DeWitt. He reverse. Beach is hit at the 25 and it goes into the end zone. He's got a way out there too far, and it's over the apron of the far sideline, and it goes to Doolin, and Doolin is going to be hit for a loss of about a yard on the play back at the 24. Visley, Lucas, and
Here in the second half.
And this is Doolin. Doolin has the first down. Doolin wide left. He's in the open. He's across the 50 and is going to be knocked down.
And as soon as I said that, Orlando Doolin rips off a big carry on defense.
First down and 10 for the Ironmen at the Freeport 41. Doolin is met by Lavery and is dropped back at the 47. He will lose 6 yards unless they spot it differently.
Well, McGrath and Lucas also did a nice job holding up that sweep.
They're going to mark it at the 45, so he lost 4 on the play. 2nd and 14. Good, right? Weems looks to throw. Chased, fires. It is caught by Connolly at the 40, at the 35, and is near a first down at the 32. In Kern. And they have, since we have taken the commercial break, brought out the stretcher. And they are still tending to him, and now the effort to perhaps get him on the stretcher. They have that flat board out there, Tom. You were mentioning earlier about the tremendous support of the Freeport fans, and should they win this, when they have elected not to go to the state finals. That, I believe, was a school board decision, though.
It's a hotly debated issue, Bob, as to whether teams should go beyond the WPIAL playoffs into the state playoffs. Of course, the state playoffs conceived last year for the first time, and a lot of schools, they want to go through with that, thinking that the season is already a little bit too long and it cuts into other sports that are ready to start, and it cuts into their study time. And there's several reasons. But and then other schools say, well, we've been this far, and you know, if there is a state playoffs, let's go for it all the way. And so it is, every school district has their opinion, and there are several different ones. Freeport has chosen not to. If Freeport would win this game, Bob, Bedford would go as the representative from AA here in the West.
So Brian Kern, number 21, they have put the restraining straps around him on that flat board and will now pick him up and be placed on the stretcher and taken to one of the nearby Pittsburgh hospitals for evaluation and see what this is all about.
Certainly anytime you get and we don't want to, as you can see Brian's head enclosed there, they don't want any neck movement, so obviously it's a injury to the upper part, the neck or the shoulder area, and in precautionary measures they want to make sure that nothing moves at all until they can get in and get a better look at him with his equipment off and that. So hopefully our prayers are with Brian, and hopefully it will be just a precautionary thing, and he'll be up and at him tomorrow morning. So Brian Kern already with a big interception here in the first quarter, and has been a tremendous part of this Freeport Yellow Jacket team. Has rushed for over 700 yards on offense, and has been a big part of it on defense. So Brian, we're with you, so hang in there.
Okay, getting back into action. When we continue, it'll be 3rd down and 2 at the Freeport 33. 3rd and 2 at the 33 for Steel Valley.
So far this quarter, Bob, here in the third, Steel Valley with 100 yards offense, Freeport with 20. So Steel Valley has certainly put it on a little bit here in the third.
We need a big defensive play for thinking Freeport. And Thompson has the first down and more.
8-yard pickup in a big hole off the right side.
Scott Lucas along with number 60, I believe, on that play.
Terry Van Dyke.
All right, Van Dyke assisting on the tackle. It's marked just inside the 25-yard line, so it's an 8-yard pickup for Steel Valley. Game tied at 7:48 seconds on a turning third quarter clock. Weems, Thompson again at the 25, the line of scrimmage, and Lavery combines on the play with Ravoti.
Redmond also on the bottom of that.
Right. And Beach, I believe, is also there for the tackle, so they gain nothing on the play. Well, they're going to give them probably a half a yard forward progress, but we'll still call it second. Well, you want to give them a yard? Call it 2nd and 9. Let's give them a yard on the play. It's marked near the 24.
They love this right side of the line following big number 73, Orlando Walker.
Here's Weems. He keeps. Weems hit by Lucas. Loose football. No, he held on. And Ravoti is there with Scott Lucas and Lavery all combining on the tackle, and they will lose the yard they gained. Now it's 3rd and 10. And the third quarter has come to an end with Steel Valley at the Freeport 25. When we come back, the 4th and final. And Steel Valley has the football. It is now 3rd and 10 at the 25 of Freeport. Tom?
Steel Valley with 4 first downs here in the second half, or in the third quarter, I should say. That was as many as they had the whole first half. And they're on the move. Their 3rd possession. They have 1 touchdown in the second half to make the game even at 7. Conley is split left. Weems under center, 3rd and 10 from the Freeport 25. Weems rolls left. He's looking. He's surrounded, chased, out of bounds by Ravadian Stuyvesant.
And Bisley assisted on the play.
It's going to be a loss of about 3, so that's going to make it line of scrimmage at 28, 4th and 13.
Now, you recall the last time they were near this particular area of the field, they faked the punt with a short snap and picked up sizable yardage.
Marcel Weems has a very strong leg. He's kicked 30 extra points this year, but this would be a 45-yard field goal, so no thoughts of that. And here come the Steel Valley Ironmen, 4th and 13. Fans at home, they need the 15-yard line for the first down. Line of scrimmage at 28. Weems fakes the handoff. Rolls right, cuts back inside, he's at the 30, stumbles 25. Nice cut at the 20, down to the 13-yard line. An unbelievable run by Marcel Weems, tackled by Dave Bisley. He left tacklers strewn all over the carpet here at Three Rivers. A beautiful run by Marcel Weems.
And it appeared that he had been slowed down a couple of times, too.
He was and stumbled, and that gives you a little bit of an idea how much he means to this Steel Valley team. Pretty much did that on his own with not much blocking out in the right flank. Tremendous run, and put a little X by that play. That could be a big one in this game. 4th and 13, and running the ball yet around the right side. Comes up with the first down to the 14. 1st and 10 for Steel Valley. Let's see if Freeport's defense can come up. But jumping offside is John Uhas for Steel Valley.
That's the first penalty against him, is it not?
It is. Sure looked like it anyways.
Well, they went 3 quarters without it.
First penalty for Steel Valley, 5-yarder. Freeport has only been penalized twice for 15, so a very clean game. And it's made for an excellent fast-moving game. Weems on that scramble picked up 14. It was 4th and 13, and he had 1 yard. We told you he needed the 15. He ended up at the 14. Now the 5-yard penalty puts it back near the 19. 1st and 15. Steel Valley has attempted 1 pass this half and a 1-for-1 completion to Conley. Conley's 1-on-1 out here with DeWitt in the left flank. That's who Weems is looking for. Conley rolls right, cuts back in, shakes Stuyvesant's tackle. He could go in. 10-5, touchdown, Marcel Weems. Randy Stuyvesant had him in his arms, and give Weems credit. The 6'3 quarterback bounced out of that tackle and went in for the touchdown. Beautiful individual efforts by Marcel Weems, and Steel Valley has taken a 13-7 lead. Bob, we mentioned early in the game that Weems is so big and strong, he's almost bigger than the interior linemen that block for him. And certainly the tackler's coming up 1-on-1. It's no disgrace not to bring him down. He is
6'2", 190.
He is just a
well, that's what's on the chart.
He's a strong and quick quarterback, and it's 13-7.
Official timeout.
That was run in from about the 19. It was about the 18.5. Weems on the extra point. It's blocked by Joe McGrath.
Oh, what a play.
McGrath came in from his left defensive end spot and blocked the kick. So keep that in mind. 13-7 here early in the 4th quarter. Steel Valley leads.
And we'll be back. High school football will continue. The football for the Ironmen of Steel Valley, who have just scored and lead in the game 13-7. And Freeport blocks the kick on the extra point attempt. Tom?
Well, our viewers saw 2 outstanding plays by Weems on that drive. Remember, it was 4th and 13 when he picked up that first down on a scramble, then rolled left for the touchdown. Weems kickoff down the field. Fielded at the 25 by Hoffman. He's up to the 30 to 35, and will be down there, and that's where Freeport will take it from the 35. Anthony Reynolds on the special teams tackle. Freeport's 3rd time they've had the ball. They've started from their 38 to Steel Valley 23 when they could not move in, and now at their own 35. They have 20 yards total offense here in the second half. Right now, Steel Valley with 133 yards total offense. So the Ironmen have kicked it in gear here in the second half. Let's see if Freeport can answer the call. The Yellow Jackets with only 1 first down in the second half. 10:35 left to go in the game. Steel Valley leads by 6. It's a counter handoff to Redmond. He's tackled in the backfield by Nick Cambaris. And if there's a defensive player of the game, he's got to be it. He has been all over the field for Steel Valley. Looks to be a 2-yard loss for Redmond. 2nd and 12. Line of scrimmage now at the 33, almost the 34-yard line. Freeport, remember, has not been a passing team. They're 2-4 through the air today. Valentine fakes. He's going to pass this time. He looks. He has Beach deep, and he has Lavery over the middle of passes behind Lavery, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down and 11. Chad Ravati playing with that, looks to be that bruise again on his thigh, and he is certainly not 100%, but he's really gutting it out for the Yellow Jackets. Steel Valley's defense coming up big here in the second half. They are only giving up on an average 7 points a game, and that's what the Yellow Jackets have right now. Steel Valley has 5 shutouts this year on defense. Freeport, 3rd and 12. Valentine back. He looks over the middle, and it's going to be short. Looked to be going to Eric Beach, but short. And Freeport, unless I thought I saw a flag over there, Bob, to the left. Valentine comes up limping. No flag. It might be a paper with all the wind swirling here. No flag on the play. Freeport will have to punt. So their 3rd possession nets a -2. And Dennis Lavery is in punt formation. Stands at his 20. Snap is good to kick. Comes to the right side. Fair catch called for by Weems at his 33-yard line. So Steel Valley will get the ball for the 4th time here in the second half. They will start at their own 33. So far in the second half, they have 131 yards offense, 5 first downs, and 2 touchdowns. And let's see if the Ironmen, with 9:40 left to go in the game, will elect to keep it on the ground with Weems and Doolin and Cam Paris and Thompson at the fullback position. They certainly have the weapons to keep the ball on the ground. The Yellow Jackets will try to force the Ironmen to punt the ball back. Weems under center. From the 33, handoffs to Doolin. Off the right side, he's hit by Ravati and Redmond. Maybe 1 yard. Let's see where they spot it. Lavery also in on the tackle. I think they're going to give him 1 yard, so let's give Doolin 1. And that keeps him hovering around the 100-yard mark for the day, unofficially at 98 yards. 2nd and a long, 9, timeout, officials time.
9:17 left in the game. Steel Valley leading 13-7. And what a big defensive play by number 85, Joe McGrath for Freeport, who came in to block the extra point attempt by Marcel Weems.
For whatever reason, the official stopped the clock. It started again. Play being run in by number 40, Jason Schweinberg. Schweinberg is in. Steel Valley trying to use as much time as they can now on the game clock. 2nd and a long 9. Weems has made 2 big individual plays. He rolls left. He looks. Stuyvesant hems him in. McGrath is coming to pass. Thompson is too wide and out of bounds. Joe McGrath that time very close to Weems before Marcel got the ball out.
Good pursuit by McGrath and also number 75, Scott Lucas.
Those two-way people in up front, McGrath, Scott Lucas, Dave Visley, big parts of that Freeport offense and defense. Ravati has stepped in for Atkinson on the offensive line. Of course, Ravati also at linebacking position. Beach goes both ways. And Jody White's played a lot of defense today. Right now is not in there. Hoffman's at safety.
Big 3rd down.
3rd and 9. Certainly a big one for the Yellow Jackets. Still some time, a lot of time left. 8:43. Weems is back. He's looking. He's looking. He's going to go deep. One-on-one is DeWitt. And Uhas, the pass is incomplete. Jason DeWitt had excellent coverage. I should say, not Uhas, Jason Zakis out there for Steel Valley. So as Zakis and DeWitt, Weems threw that ball nearly 50 yards in the air, incomplete, and Freeport has forced a punt. Steel Valley now 1 for 3 in the air in the second half.
I was going to say an interception by DeWitt would have been a poor choice because I think they'd get better field position out of a punt return.
Good point, Bob, as Jody White and Eric Beach are back. Eric Beach ran back a kickoff or a punt return for a touchdown against Washington in the first playoff game and was called back on a penalty. Camberis kicks over. Beach wanted to get there, decided to stay away as the ball rolls out at the 31 of Freeport.
8:27 left in the game, and Steel Valley leads by 6, 13-7.
Pretty good punt with the roll, about a 38-yarder by Camberis.
Freeport's fans across the way want to get back into the ball game with as much cheering as they can, and you're going to hear an equal amount of noise on the near sideline from Steel Valley.
Fourth time Freeport's had the ball in the second half. Right now they total only 18 yards total offense in the second half. 8:27 left. Let's see what the Yellow Jackets can do this time. Valentine, fake handoff, option out to White. Valentine throws it to White. Actually looks like a forward pass, and if that was fumbled, would have been awful. I should say, if it was mishandled, awful close to a fumble.
Picked up about a yard on the play.
First time they've come out with a pure option this game, Bob. Valentine and White come out to the right side.
2nd and 9 coming up at the 32.
White with only 20 yards rushing. You know, Steel Valley's defense has done that in the first 2 playoff games, really shut down some big runners. And they've continued to do it here again today. 2nd and 9. Power eye left. Valentine hands off to White. Cuts it up over to 35 to the 37, maybe the 38-yard line. Camberis handoff will be White. He has a first down. He's over to 40. Up to the 43-yard line.
Found the hole and picked up the first down at the 43.
Looked to be about 5, and Jody White, for the first time in the game, put 2 real good carries back to back. And hopefully some momentum for Freeport's offense. Steel Valley, Camberis back in. The Ironman defense trying to stop the Freeport surge. 7.5 minutes left. 1st and 10. Freeport's second first down here in the second half. Valentine gives to White. He dances over to 45, up to the 49. And all of a sudden, the Yellow Jackets, with 3 good rushes, and White, unfortunately, comes up limping, Bob. Jody White, as you see on our screen, and bad news for the Yellow Jackets. Just when it seemed Freeport was picking up a head of steam, White, with that ankle problem he's had all week.
By the way, in the backfield, since Brian Kern's been out of there, has been Lavery. And who do they bring in? Oh, we have another injury at the midfield marker.
Jody White goes over to the bench, helped over by Freeport coaches and trainers.
Well, he lasted 3.5 quarters. 3.5 quarters, and right now the injuries are taking their toll on both sides. Brian Kern was taken off the field on a stretcher. We've had Jody White just go off limping for Freeport, and recently, just in the last minute or so, Nick Camberis, with that shoulder, was taken off. He's back in the lineup. Now we have another youngster for Steel Valley injured, and they're tending to him.
50, 45, down to the 40-yard line and knocked out of bounds. And a flag, and a late flag. Number 37, Jason Zakis, met Valentine at the 40 and drove him out a little bit too hard, I think, according to the officials. That could be a big help to Freeport.
15 yards will be added on to this one. It would go from the 40 down to about the 25 if I have the spot of the foul marked incorrectly. I think it's the 41. So 15 yards will bring it down to the 26.
It was an 11-yard pickup by Valentine. And the 15 yards tacked on brings it down to the Steel Valley 25. So certainly a big penalty, especially with Jody White on Freeport's offense. Valentine rolled out the first time, as you see the Freeport fans really getting into it. Freeport started at their own 31. Valentine under center. Counter play to DeWitt. Steel Valley's waiting for it that time. No gain as they go to the 25 in with the play from the bench. Jody White is being attended to on the far end of the Freeport bench. 6:28.
Well, who do they have back there?
I believe it's Stuyvesant. Counter play this time to Redmond. Big hole, 20. Cuts it to 15. He's at the 10. He's at the 5. He's into the end zone for a Freeport touchdown. From the 25, a beautiful trap play. Ryan Redmond with a couple beautiful moves behind some great blocking by the interior of the Freeport line, and the Yellow Jackets have tied it with 6:15 left to go in the game at 13-all. Now Brad Ballantyne will kick. It was a 25-yard touchdown run by Ryan Redmond. Ballantyne, the big kick. The score is tied. The snap is down. The kick is up. It is good. Flag. Late on the play. We'll see what it is.
I think they may have run into the kicker.
And it would be tacked on the kickoff if that is true. If that is the call. It's kind of hard to tell. Referee's talking to some Still Valley linemen. Personal foul, Still Valley. It'll be tacked on to the kickoff. And Bob, it happened against Jeanette. For our viewers watching that aren't familiar with that game, Jody White went out of the Jeanette game limping in severe pain, and Jason DeWitt went for a long touchdown run. I believe it was 60-some yards. And on this drive, after White went out, Ballantyne scrambled for 11, 15-yard personal foul, and Still Valley took it to the 25 after they held DeWitt on a run. Ryan Redmond on just a gorgeous trap play. Not only the blocking, but a beautiful run by Redmond for the touchdown. Ballantyne with the all-important extra point makes it 14-13. Now the personal foul is tacked on to the kickoff, or where the kickoff will originate, and that will be the Freeport, or now the Still Valley 45. So 6:15 left, a lot of time left, especially with the explosive athletes Still Valley has. What a game we have for you for the AA WPIAL final. Still Valley, the defending champs. The kick is on the ground. It bounces over Uhas's head, picked up by Doolin. He's at the 20, tackled and brought down at the 20. We'll try to get the player head to, I believe it was number 30, and 23 and 30 for Freeport. Eric Brown and Dan Edwards with some good special teams play. Still Valley will take over at their own 20. This is the deepest they've had to start here in the second half. Freeport's drive was 69 yards for the touchdown. What a time to put together a drive in now with 6 minutes remaining. We're going to have a great ending to this one. Marcel Weems comes under center. Camp Harrison, Doolin in the backfield. Weems, deep handoff to Doolin. He has some room outside at the 25. Stiff arms Eric Beach and carries him down to the 31. And there's a flag, a late flag. Coming in late on the tackle after he was down was a flag. And of course the Still Valley coaches were really on the ref saying, you gave it to us, now give it back. And that's what it's going to be, a personal foul. And those hurt, because it's going to go from the 31 all the way up to probably around the 46. Just outside the 45. Orlando Doolin, when he comes out on the flanks and with his speed, very dangerous, gave a great stiff arm to Eric Beach. To Beach's credit, he hung on, slowed Doolin up, went out of bounds. We didn't see the player coming in late that made the hit, but it gives Still Valley their 6th first down. 5:45 left. Freeport 14, Still Valley 13. Marcel Weems under center. Rolls out to the right. He has some room. Skirts outside the 45. Crosses midfield. Hit hard and dropped, but not until he picks up some good yardage. Looks like we're a body on a tackle. And Terry Van Dyke. About a 7-yard gain for Weems.
Boy, that penalty hurts.
Doolin on that carry before picked up 11 before the penalty was tacked on. Timeout.
It's an official timeout. All right, we will take a timeout right now. 5:18.
Has the first down over to 45, down to about the 43.
Let's take that break right now. It's at the 40. It's to play.
There have been no turnovers here in the second half. 4:44 left to go. 1st and 10. Still Valley with their 7th first down in the second half. Deep hand off to Doolin. He gets to the 40 to the 39. About a 4-yard pickup. It's going to be 2nd and around 6. Tackled by McGrath. Joe McGrath from his defensive end position. Just like Freeport, mounted some momentum down the field, aided by a 15-yard personal foul penalty. Still Valley has picked it up. Now they have the momentum going the other way. A great game between two excellent football teams. Still Valley, the defending champ. Freeport comes in 10-2. Still Valley comes in with a 25-game unbeaten streak since 1987. Weems under center. It's 2nd and 6. Hand off to Doolin. Chased outside. He has a beautiful cut, but brought down on a nice tackle by Eric Beach. Boy, if Doolin gets around Beach, It's look out down the sidelines. Doesn't look like much, maybe a yard. Let's see where they mark it. They mark it at the 38.
Doolin limping a little bit off of that last carry. And Tom, we're down to 3.5 minutes left in the game.
3rd and 5. What a great game, and it's a lot of fun to be here when you have this kind of action in a WPIAL final from Three Rivers. One thing right now, win or lose, nobody's playing in this game. We'll forget this one. We're down to 3:15, 3rd and 5. Certainly 4 down territory for Steel Valley. Weems rolls right, behind some blockers, cuts back left. He has a hole at the 30. What a run, he's at the 25. No, he's brought down at the 26-yard line. Good tackle by Dennis Laver. Marcel Weems from the 38 down to the 27. 11-yard carry. Boy, when he starts to move, he is Major Harrison High School clothes. He just, strength and quickness.
And when they run that play, they keep going to the one side.
It's just individual effort when they roll out. We're under 3 minutes, 2:50 left. Steel Valley on the drive. Freeport leads by 1. Weems deep, hand off to Doolin. He's down to the 21-yard line. A 1-2 punch right now. Weems and Doolin back and forth. 5-yard carry, tackled by Ryan Redmond that time. Make it 6 yards as they move the ball a little bit closer to the 21. Timeout Freeport. I'm going to say, Bob, it's a very good timeout for Freeport right now. Maybe they can catch their breath because it's Doolin left and Weems right, and Weems left and Doolin right, and back and forth, and those two have carried the load for Steel Valley.
2.5 minutes left in the game, 2:34 to be exact. The shot of the Steel Valley huddle a couple of minutes ago, number 55, Michael Uhas, was taken off the field under a little bit of help. He was replaced by Kurt Bloomberg, but right now he's back into the contest, and he is playing his center position, number 55, Mike Uhas.
Orlando Doolin with 126 yards rushing on the day, unofficially 22 carries, and almost 80 of those yards, I should say 90 of those yards, are here in the second half. Doolin set the option play right, cuts it back in. I think he's going to have the first down. 2 players we've told you about all afternoon have led the way for Steel Valley behind some excellent blocking. Weems again to his left, cuts in. He's down to the 10 inside, the 10 to the 9. 1:37 left. Line of scrimmage is the 9. Weems is going to roll right. He's behind blockers. He's at the 5. He's at the 4. He's at the 2. The goal line, and they're going to mark it at the 1. We have time. Officials time to move the sticks. Off. I don't think he got in. No signal. Robert Thompson, who had scored earlier here in the half. Marcel Weems. Look for the sneak here. No. Yes, it is. It's a rollout. They have him tackled. No, he gets into the end zone. Unbelievable effort by Marcel Weems with 20 seconds left. Eric Beach had him at the 5. Redmond and Hoffman came up. Just an incredible effort by Marcel Weems with 20 seconds left. Literally hurdled his body from the 5-yard line and scored. Just an incredible play. You can't blame anybody. Freeport's defense was there. You just have to credit the athlete. And Marcel Weems has continued what he's done the whole second half. Unbelievable play. If Beach brings them down, or if Freeport defenders get there, what if? Weems' kick is up and good. That makes it 20-14. The problem for the Yellow Jackets, there are only 20 seconds remaining in the game.
All right, Freeport will
play. Weems once again with that strength just shook him off and dove into the end zone. He will kick off. 20 seconds left. Certainly not over, but precious little left. Very short kick. Bounces at the 35 to the 40-yard line. It was picked up by number 23 from Freeport, Dan Edwards. Freeport does have 2 timeouts left, but only 17 seconds left. The field position is good. The time situation is not for the Yellow Jackets. They will take a timeout now. They will have 1 remaining.
So Freeport with the football at their own 40 and 60 yards away from pay dirt, trailing by 6, 20-14.
Freeport was down 13-7. He's a blocking back. Valentine's not going to have time. He's going to be sacked by Orlando Walker. Time runs down to 12 seconds. Freeport gave it everything they had, and it's an excellent, fantastic ball game that we're certainly glad to be a part of. Maybe one play left. Valentine back. 10 seconds. Throws deep, down the middle. Passes deflected. Picked off by number 40, Jason Schweinberger, with 5 seconds left. All clock will tick off. They did not have to take a snap. The game is over, and what a game. The fans have been able to see. We are proud to bring it to you. The final score, Steel Valley 20, Freeport 14.
And we're going to bring you up to date on some statistics for you. And Tom, but we can recap the scoring. First of all, Freeport gets on the board, an 11-yard pass play to McGrath. The kick after added by Brad Valentine, and they went into the locker room with a 7-0 lead. And in that third quarter, Steel Valley came right back.
Steel Valley came out and had a 52-yard touchdown drive the first time they got their hands on the ball. And Robert Thompson running it over made it 7-7. After a Freeport punt, Steel Valley drove 75 yards with Marcel Weems taking it over on a 15-yard run, and that made the score 13-7. Joe McGrath blocked the extra point, and that looked like that was going to be a very big determining factor in this final. Didn't turn out that way because Freeport did get the ball, drove 69 yards, did go ahead 14-13 on a beautiful run by Ryan Redmond. What I was going to say is that point did not mean the difference in the game because Steel Valley came back with an 80-yard drive of their own. They went from the 8-minute mark down to the 20-second mark when Marcel Weems, with a play that will be etched in Freeport memory for a long time, faked the handoff to Doolin, rolled left. Freeport had stuffed it out. Beach and Redmond and a few other players over there. Weems shook off the tackle and went in from the 5 to score with 20 seconds left. One thing I'm just thinking about right now, Bob, Steel Valley scored their 3 touchdown drives in the second half were 52, 75, and 80. So nothing cheap about what
shabby.
Steel Valley did in the second half. Freeport's scoring drive was a 69-yard drive that was also a beautiful drive. And just what can you say? Neither team, you hated to see, I hate to say it because it's a cliche, you hate to see anybody lose in this one. It was just a well-played, a beautiful game to watch and to call.
All right.
Orlando Doolin ends up with 126 unofficially. Marcel Weems with 52 yards unofficially. Jody White was held to 31. It looked like Jody was starting to pick up steam. And his ankle went out again with about 9 minutes left to go in the game. We do have Doolin at 129. Weems at 75 yards rushing. Rob Thompson with 19 for Steel Valley. Johnson with 15 in the first half for Freeport. Jody White to 36, as we mentioned. Brian Kern with 11. Ryan Redmond with 41, plus that beautiful TD run. Jason DeWitt with 25. And Brad Valentine with 11. Steel Valley really rolled in the second half, had 10 first downs alone. In the second half, had 14 total for the game. The yardage, Steel Valley 245 rushing in the second half. Add to that 19 passing for 264 for a total. Freeport 122 yards rushing, 19 passing for 141 total. So Steel Valley with 123 yards on the plus side over Freeport offensively. And that about wraps it up, Bob. I know we have a lot of people to thank, and setting up here at Three Rivers isn't the easiest thing in the world. So thanks again to our viewers, and I was certainly glad to be here today.
Okay, thank you, Tom. And again, that final was Steel Valley 20 and Freeport 14. This telecast was produced by Comcast Cablevision of New Kensington, Pennsylvania. Our technical director, Rob Tattern. Camera operators, Don Vinkovich and Chris Tattern. Our statistician, Amy Tattern. The final score again was 20-14 in favor of Steel Valley. And on behalf of Tom Dinga, I'm Bob Tattern bidding you a fond farewell from Three River Stadium. So long.